It's May Bank holiday, less than 3 days to go till the general election, and a team of us have been canvassing in Baslow today. We went to the sports fest in the field. We're lucky with the weather, great turnout and some good discussions as well, and some more support crucially, which has been very encouraging. I think after all these months of campaigning, I've learned that the other parties are certainly very active day to day, and they're also prepared to play quite dirty actually. I think it's important not to personalise politics and to not resort to gutter politics, but unfortunately that does happen, and because it's a long campaign, there's long-term strategies, but there's also short-term things you have to keep an eye on. So I've noticed that on things like Facebook and Twitter, you have to be keeping an eye on it and keeping active, because you'll quickly have attacks which can often come out of nowhere, actually, completely unprovoked. I was pleasantly surprised to see that a pub in Matlock's created a Lib Dem Ben burger. There are burgers named after each of the candidates, and they're all based on sort of the colour and ingredients of each burger, so that was a pleasant surprise. But it's going to be odd, probably on polling day, to go into the pub and say, "Can I have a Ben Fearn burger please?" My message to people on the streets or at homes is what my message has always been since I was first selected. That's to get out and use your vote, whoever it's for. I think if you don't vote, then you're just going to be ignored furthermore by all the political parties, so you get change by voting for change. I've always held that view. With young people, I have a similar message to people generally, and that's to make sure you do use your vote. I think with less than half of 16 to 24-year-olds voting the last general election, compare that with over 70% of people aged 65 and over, that's reflected in parties' policies and how they're skewed away from young people. So if you take the Russell Brand line and don't vote at all, you're not going to get change, and you're not going to shake up the political system. You'll just be ignored further, and you'll have policies skewed against you. I know that myself as a young person. For instance, getting on the housing ladder is incredibly difficult now, yet there are certain pensioner perks. Some we rightly do have, but some are a bit too generous with things like winter fuel allowances for the richest pensioners. But as it stands, they're often that crudely named grey voter going to go out and vote. They're going to keep those perks, whereas younger people are going to keep losing out. So change that by voting.